Bullseye Movies channel brings you this narrative expansion as it does more than deepen Ruben as a character. It fundamentally reframes the conflict. Georgie's frustration no longer exists in a vacuum. It collides with a fully realized human being whose priorities are just as valid, even if they differ. The argument is no longer about who is right, but about whether the partnership can survive without mutual understanding. For Montana Jordan, who plays Georgie, this confrontation is essential to the character's evolution. Georgie has always been driven, confident, and forward-facing, often charging ahead without pausing to consider the consequences. That trait has served him well in some respects, fueling his success and resilience. But it has also led him into situations where hindsight reveals missed opportunities for empathy and compromise. Jordan describes Georgie as someone with a strong will and a clear sense of direction, but also someone prone to rushing past moments that require reflection. There are situations, he notes, where Georgie likely looks back and wonders whether a different path might have been wiser. Episode 9 forces Georgie into exactly that kind of reflection, stripping away the comfort of certainty and replacing it with doubt. By the end of the episode, Georgie is finally compelled to acknowledge what he has long resisted. Ruben is not an obstacle to overcome, but an equal partner deserving of respect. This realization does not magically fix their problems, but it opens the door to a more honest and balanced relationship, if Georgie is willing to follow through. Episode 10 extends this theme of destabilization into the realm of family, using Christmas as the setting for another unraveling. Where Episode 9 dismantles Georgie's confidence in his professional instincts, Episode 10 challenges his assumptions about connection, obligation, and emotional closeness. Holiday plans that once seemed carefully arranged quickly fall apart, mirroring the disintegration already underway in Georgie's business life. One of the most striking developments in this episode is the shifting emotional response to Sheldon's absence. Earlier in the series, distance from Sheldon might have felt like a loss, a reminder of fractured family bonds. Here, however, that distance takes on a different meaning. For Georgie and Missy, it becomes something closer to relief than regret. This subtle shift speaks volumes about how their relationships have evolved. Sheldon's absence is no longer a wound that needs healing, it is simply a fact of life, one that creates space rather than longing. That emotional recalibration is not portrayed as cruel or dismissive, it is portrayed as honest. Sometimes distance, even from family, is not only inevitable but necessary. Taken together, Episodes 9 and 10 form a powerful statement about the cost of avoiding difficult conversations. Georgie's belief that he could push forward indefinitely, whether in business or in life, without addressing underlying tensions is finally dismantled. The show makes it clear that ambition, while valuable, becomes destructive when it overrides empathy and communication. During a recent visit to the show's Los Angeles set, conversations with the cast and creative team reinforced the intentionality behind these choices. The unraveling of plans was not accidental or merely dramatic, it was designed to clear the ground for what comes next. The winter break is not a pause in momentum, but a breath before transformation. That transformation begins with the mid-season premiere, scheduled to air on Thursday, February 26, 2026, at 8 p.m. on CBS. An exclusive first look reveals Jim returning to the tire shop, signaling yet another shift in the show's power dynamics. His presence alone suggests that the balance established earlier in the season is no longer sufficient, and that adjustments will need to be made. Jim's return is emblematic of the broader recalibration underway. Just as Georgie is forced to re-evaluate his role as a partner, the show itself is reassessing who holds influence, who bears responsibility, and how authority is distributed. These changes are not framed as victories or defeats, but as necessary corrections. What makes this stretch of episodes particularly compelling is their refusal to offer easy answers. Georgie does not emerge from Episode 9 fully redeemed, nor does Episode 10 provide emotional closure. Instead, the series trusts its audience to sit with discomfort, to recognize that growth often begins with uncertainty. As Georgie and Mandy's first marriage enters its winter break, it does so having fundamentally reshaped its narrative landscape. The plans its characters once relied upon, business strategies, holiday traditions, emotional expectations, have been pulled apart piece by piece. What remains is a collection of people forced to confront who they are when certainty is stripped away. When the series returns, it will do so with new stakes, altered dynamics, and characters who can no longer rely on old assumptions. Whether these changes lead to stronger partnerships or deeper fractures remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that the show has reached a turning point, and it is not looking back.